How are you scheduling, like right now, your internet and social media time? I mean, you got to be scheduled, be organized, be successful. How are you, like, throughout your day? I mean, are you doing it? Do you set aside time? How does that work for y'all?
You read this book, The One Thing,
Yeah.
Keller. I think this has really been my philosophy for the past 2 years probably. But basically the whole idea is to find out that one thing that only you can do, and then if you do it really, really, really well, all the other pieces will fall in. They'll take care of themselves. And this has been my experience, and I'll explain how. Number one, we're really, when you're working online and if you're creating products or you're making videos or you're doing all the social media stuff, that's a business in and of itself. And I remember needing to get that built up, and I would do exactly what Zach says. I'd spend the first part of my day writing, creating products, creating videos, doing these things. But all the while, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, fuck, 2 o'clock, fuck, how much time do I have, because I know groups are coming in, I gotta train them. Slowly, the quality of the work that I could do in the first part of the day is always interrupted, and I'm thinking, so I'm totally, I think Tim Ferriss wrote an article about this, but essentially how because your mind is divided, because you know that you have something to do later, you can never fully focus on what's going on now. And I realized that everything suffered, because not only did the work I was currently doing suffer, but I started resenting the fact that, well, I got my athletes coming in later. And then that sucked. So I quickly realized, like, balancing, multitasking is just not going to work for me. Because it's like I'm balancing 2 things, and that, just 2 things is enough to throw everything off. So what I started doing is I started chunking by day. So I know that, like, Tuesday, all I'm thinking, and it's great because I can prep my mind, all I'm thinking about while I'm driving my kids to school is, as soon as I get to the gym, I'm making videos. I have nothing else on my calendar, nothing else to think about. Tuesday, that's it. From the time I walk in to the time I walk out, I'm just making videos. It felt so peaceful. It just felt so good to know that today's video making day, if anybody tries to interrupt me with anything else, I don't even check email. It's just that level of focus allows creativity to really be enhanced when you shut your brain off to absolutely everything else. And then I was introduced to this idea of building a business. The gentleman who wrote the book, The One Thing, he was the CEO of Xerox. You know, and the guy's a real creative executive. And he gives many examples of different companies who try to be too many different things, try to do too many different things, and how it always ends up kind of mediocre. You're kind of in the middle with everything, and that's okay, but you're never really a master. And to truly become a master at something means that your life revolves around it, and everybody knows you for that one thing. You see? So when I just threw myself completely into video production, and just I'm making lots of, like, there are times, we don't talk about anything else, really, Chris? I mean, everything's a video opportunity. We got a video camera on right now. Everything in my mind is video. What has actually happened is all the other pieces that I would have had to think about actually work out. Like, I can have, like, if I wanted to start a class right now, I would just make a video and I'd have 17 people show up tomorrow, right? You would think, like, well, what are you doing for marketing outside of the internet? Well, because I focused on one thing and I got really, really good at it, all the other things fall in place. So whatever else I decide to do, I only need to make a 10% effort because I put 100% into this one thing. You know, we put on an event yesterday. We had 100 competitors, and of course, 100 competitors. We had a pretty good crowd. I mean, the whole thing went smoothly. How many volunteers do we have?
About maybe 15.
Man, we shot out one email, and we made one video. 15 volunteers. Other people showing up saying, "Oh, I wish I would have volunteered. How do I volunteer next time?" All these things happen so smoothly. Our sponsors just essentially, as soon as they heard that we're doing it, oh, we're in. People are cutting checks and sending it to me. All that stuff seems like it would take work. How am I going to get volunteers? How am I going to get sponsors? How am I going to pull this thing off? But it really went smoothly because I make videos. I focused on one thing. So of course, that might not be your contribution, but if your one contribution is I'm going to be the best strength coach. Bar none, that means shut your brain off to everything else. Meaning, well, maybe you don't need a Facebook page. Maybe you shouldn't be making videos. Maybe you need to be so fucking good at what you do right here in this moment, completely undivided, that when this person receives the gift of your expertise, they tell everyone. Do you see what I'm saying? Don't worry about marketing. I know this sounds crazy. This is just me giving out ideas. Don't worry about everything else. Worry about that one thing that you're going to be a fucking master at. And then everything else will sort of fall in place.
Yeah.
The most leverageable thing too, and think about that also. What is that one thing that only I can do, I have the potential to be the best at? And he says once you become the best at it, now you can start thinking, how can I maxed out my ability to be the best. Now, how can it be done the best? Meaning, even if you have to remove yourself from the equation. So the whole idea is really concentrate on that one thing that you're just going to be the master at. And like I said, then you can, at the drop of a hat, all the other things will.
It's almost like that.